to be working. These are some of the 7-point agendas that he gave to the southeastern Efulefus that call themselves rulers and leaders in their own ways. Submit this to federal government of Nigeria. This was far back in 2017. Submit this to the federal government of Nigeria and make them implement it, because these are demands of the Biafran people. These are the demands of the indigenous people of Biafra. But how did they implement all those 7-point agendas that we asked for? It was to bring Operation Python dance to come and dance on us. The Python dance on us and rake on us and then climb on us and then sharpen their oars on us. You were killed in Mpo, you were killed in MNA, you were even killed when MNK was released, and then people came out rejoicing from the market. They just came out from the market rejoicing on hearing that MNK has been released from detention in 2017. They were just rejoicing. They did not have flag. They did not have banner. They did not have machete. They did not have knife. They did not have anything. They just came out and then they started rejoicing for the victory and solidarity of Onyendu coming out as a breaking news. The army shot at them. The police shot at them. Countless bodies have been dumped in the bushes. Up till today, none of them have been accounted for. Up till today, the governors, the senators, the rulers that you see, none of them, the inter-society organization, the International Human Rights Organization, and all world names that you can ever thought on call of the UNO, all of them are in one Nigeria. None of them have brought those people that carried out those enormous crimes on us to book. The Constitution of one Nigeria was meant to benefit the Northerners, not to benefit you as an Easterner. That is why we must expunge one Nigeria from Biafra land so that we move out. The strength of the Biafran people was determined long before now. And that is why in 1967, Gowon, given the mandate from Britain, told them, if you want to be able to conquer these people, you have to use a divide and rule system. Go and divide all of them in that east and put some of them in one part, put the others in another part. Call this side Niger Delta, call this side South, and then call this side East. Come back and then see how it will work. And it worked for them because they studied the mindset of Biafran people and understand that when a seed of discord is sowed in between them, they will fall for it. Now, this seed that was sowed is now playing out now today when you look at the statistics of the election registration portal. Many of you have not narrowed your mind to read this from this angle. When you go and look at the election registration portal, you will see Northeast, North Central, Northwest, North South. You will see South, Southwest. You see South. You see Niger Delta. You will see Southeast. But when you put the entire number of the Biafran region, which is South, Niger Delta, Southeast, when you put that three numbers of the registration on the portal all together, that number alone supersedes the Southwest, it supersedes the Northeast, it supersedes the North Central, it supersedes the North So do you now understand where they found out your strength? The Fulanis determine your strength, and they understood that when they allow all of you to remain as one, you will become too formidable to break. So they rather divide you, and this time now, the mindset of Biafrans have been made up, and we are not going to stop. No elections in Biafra land. If you like, divide us again this very time. It will not change anything. Because Obama was talking here in 2013. And you will hear all the best of English that he can speak as an American adopted citizen here. But does all the grammar that he spoke here change anything in our day-to-day activities of today? Or in our massacre and genocide committed on the people of Biafra and the entirety of one Nigeria? No. The number have increased. I want you to listen to something before we go on.
Questions. Thank you. And before I answer the question, I just want to be clear. I am surrounded by opinionated women in my house all day long. So I've got good practice dealing with strong women. You guys haven't met Michelle, but you've probably seen her on TV. She's not shy. And Malia and Sasha, they're just taken right up after her. So every night at dinner, I'm surrounded. In terms of human capital and young people, I think there is no doubt that the most important investment any country can make, not just an African country, any country can make, is educating its youth and providing them the skills they need to compete in a highly technological, advanced world economy.
Educating their youth, empowering them to be able to compete in a higher technological world. Now, how are you going to educate the Fulani terrorists? How are you going to empower the Fulani terrorists? How are you going to empower the nomadic people, which from this time that Obama was talking in 2013, they have claimed to have started empowering their brains. To this very day, the empowerment of their brains have been useless. This was 2013. To this very day, now, 95% of you Biafrans and Oduduwas that were in school in 2013 to this very day, you have learned something very, very useful, and you are putting it to work. Now, I ask you one very question. In what way can you be able to empower the brains of the Fulani terrorists? Because the only way that you empower the brains of the Fulani terrorists is only by giving them arms and ammunition. That is the only thing that they know how to make use of. This jihad that you hear of, the meaning of jihad is holy war. The holy war is enunciated in where? The Quran. It is to fight the infidels, which are the people that do not believe on the same faith and on the same stand of what they have in their mind. So this is the Islamization of Nigeria, because they want to Islamize and Fulanize the entire one Nigeria because of the vast resources that is there, because they understand and believe that with the vast resources deposited in one Nigeria and the entirety of Nigeria, as they claim in that their map, when they have a grip on those resources, it can be able to harness their Islamization. Then they will use it against the West, use it against every other countries or nations that is standing on their way. Taliban have been able to take over Afghanistan, and the same template of Afghanistan is drawing near to one Nigeria. The reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is behind bars today is because he opened the eyes of everybody to understand the doom that is coming. Something is very hard for one Nigeria to do. That one Nigeria should eliminate MNK, that is what is very hard for them. Do you know why? Was it not easy for them to eliminate Dr. Lafia? I'm asking you a question. It was very easy for one Nigeria to eliminate Dr. Lafia. Now, MNK is difficult for them to eliminate, but yet they have him in their net, but they cannot eliminate him. Why? Because he has become one stubborn bone that has entered their throat, which is like this. They try to swallow it, they cannot swallow. They try to vomit it, they cannot vomit. So the thing is standing in between their gullet, and they are finding it very, very difficult to contend with. And as they keep him there, more of the monsters that MNK had groomed are coming out. You can see what is coming out from Mazi Simon Ekpa. And you can see the courage that is also coming out from all of you that are being more courageous than before now. Because when MNK was here, did you see Akbarawas on his face on the media? No. I was only sharing messages. I was only sharing posts. I only write. I write article and then I share. Finish. You did not see my face on the media. I was there in fundraising, but you will see me at the backside, so you will not even know me. But since MNK was kidnapped, it brought out the demons in us that we cannot hide anymore. We just have to come out and then do this thing once and for all. Because it is only Biafra that we are looking for, and nothing more. Now, recently, over 85,000. Did you hear me say 8,500? I said 85,000. 85,000 numbers of Boko Haram has been total to have been brought back into the society from 2020, this very day that we are here. It is not making the rounds on the media, but it is there on publication. 85,000 Boko Harams. Most of them, about 3,500, have been reported to have been reintegrated into the society. Some of them are even working in the Air Force, police, Navy, Army, civil defense, and every other groups. This is for what? The jihad. When we say no elections in Biafra land, there are too many reasons to cap it up. Listen to Obama with his nonsense.
Countries that do not do that well will not succeed.
Countries that do not do their own well, they will not succeed when they don't educate their youth to put them in order. When they don't equip their youth and then put them in line, get nurtured to be technologically inclined, they will not succeed. Can you see one Nigeria succeeding? One Nigeria is not succeeding. It only breeds criminals. And that is what you see each and every day. The youth, instead of finish school and then see job, when they finish school, they don't see job. Some of them may end up in criminality because of what the system had put them into. They put you into a vulnerable situation whereby what you only do is to be useless and in the other end useful to the politicians and to rich people. They use you for thuggery, they use you for the dirty game, and the schools that your parents spend money to send you to becomes worthless.
Countries that excel at training their young people are going to succeed because these days businesses can go anywhere. And
Boko Haram do business, Boko Haram do not do business. He said these days businesses can go anywhere because in technology it is diversified. Businesses can go anywhere. You can sit down and press a button. Do you know the business that Fulanis do? The business that Fulanis do is kidnapping business. Kidnap, get ransom paid, and then make more money to increase their war chest. That is the best that you get from the Fulanis, the terrorists. What this price is all about is to connect the dots for you to understand the reasons why we say we must end it. We must end the one Nigeria so that people can be alive. No elections in Biafra land is sacrosanct, and nothing can change it because the Biafran people have spoken, and not even the bishop that is sent from above will come to turn it.
One of the key criteria for any business is where can I find outstanding workers? Where can I find outstanding people to manage a plant or manage my sales force?
Where can I find outstanding workers that will manage my business and my firm? Will you go and get Boko Haram to come and manage your business and your firm? If you remain in one Nigeria, can these kind of dreams come to be? I just want people to understand something here. Because these dreams and aspirations can only be actualized from a well-nurtured mindset who are thinking in a way of developing something of tomorrow, and not the people that their own is jihad. Jihad means holy war. Their own conquest agenda is quite different from you. And that is why no elections in Biafra land is the final say to end this madness. All we want is no election in Biafra land. Now, it is quite shocking that Obama, after all this preaching in 2013, on a question that was posed to him on technology enhancement of the youth in Nigeria, and also the fight on Boko Haram, Obama started expatiating all these areas, enumerating them one after another. But to this very day, Obama is seated at the comfort of his home and watch how millions and thousands of Nigerians are being slaughtered at the mercy of terrorists every day. Because his government and supervision foresaw what is happening today. They did it. So I ask you, when you are looking for entrepreneurs, when you are looking for smart brains to work in your company or industry, to build that company and to build a management plan that will be giving you growth in GDP and not depleting the system of the business, will you go to look for people that are nomadic and people that are not ready to learn Western education? The Fulani terrorists, their own education wants to stop within the Quran and the forest with their cows, where they are nurtured how to sleep with cow, sleep with human being. After they sleep with, they will sleep with cow. After they finish sleep with cow, it's the same cow that they will now use to sell and give you. The human being is that when they sleep with human being, they will now slaughter the human beings because they have finished sleep with the human being. They will slaughter the human being. No, they don't sleep with the human being. They rape the human being. Sorry for using the word sleep. They rape, because when you are sleeping with someone, it's quite different from raping the person. They will rape the person. After raping the person, they will rape man, they will rape woman. They will even rape a grandmother. After raping, they will now slaughter the person to pieces because they see that the person is an infidel and does not worth to live. They will slaughter the person. I am asking you a very simple question. Is Nigeria working for you? And is this the kind of people that you employ or call into the workforce? The market where you are looking for laborers that will come in and make the company to go front and make the company to grow. Is this the mindset of the people that will do it? Hell no.
And if you have countries with high illiteracy rates or limited skills, you're going to have problems. And I want to be clear that this is a problem in the United States, not just a problem in Africa. One of the main things that I'm spending a lot of time on is trying to push Congress to improve our early childhood education, because it turns out that children are most susceptible to learning between the ages of 0 and 3. And so working with parents, particularly mothers, around reading to their children, proper nutrition, stimulating activities. Then when they get to school, making sure that our schools are prepared and redesigned for today, because a lot of the schools in the United States were first created during the agricultural era and aren't always appropriate for what's required today. And then on into what we call community colleges, which are 2-year colleges or 4-year colleges and universities. Somebody should have told my helicopter to quiet down while I'm talking.
All right. The rest of the nonsense that they're saying is not important. The key point here is that with the Fulani mindset that you have within your enclaves, you cannot go forward. And Obama made it very clear in this video that leaders are the people that are causing the Boko Haram. That bad governance is responsible for the Boko Haram. And this bad governance that is responsible for the Boko Haram, he is one of the bad governors that is responsible for the Boko Haram. He is one of the bad governors, the bad leadership that is responsible for the Boko Haram, because he bred them. He gave them the pace to grow. He's the one that promoted them and then put them into power. So, why did I play this video? I played this video because the present president of United States today will be expecting to see elections in Nigeria and elections in Biafra land. They will be expecting to see elections in Nigeria and elections in Biafra land. But they must remember that they are the people promoting and supporting this madness in one Nigeria. I'm going to bring something else to the screen now. And I hope this browser will be able to give us a very clear view of what I'm going to bring, so that Biafrans can see it very well. As US and UK and Tony Blinken, Secretary of United States, and United Nations, NATO, and all sort of madness people are shouting over no elections in Biafra land, I want you to look at something for you to understand the wickedness that be in the minds and the hearts of the Americans. Obama was talking here, and it is Obama who laid the foundation to the death that we see today in one Nigeria. Now, in this present day, many societies and groups have written and petitioned Joe Biden administration. That is why I'm bringing it to the screen. Over the massacre of people, especially Christians in Nigeria. But did you see Joe Biden administration do something about it? No. Joe Biden administration has turned blind eye on it. But Joe Biden administration have been so swift into calling for a peaceful election to be conducted in one Nigeria. But Joe Biden administration has turned blind eye on the massacre of people in Nigeria in entirety. Christians in Nigeria continue to be massacred despite pleas to the Biden administration and United Nations. Watch it and understand the reasons why the Biafran people have made a bold step and said, no, enough is enough. We cannot keep on crying and shouting to Joe Biden, United Nations, NATO, UK, UN, OAU, like always, and as always, and as before. Time have changed. There is one thing that is very, very paramount in life. Change. Change is very paramount. Change is very, very paramount. And also in the Bible that you read, it is written there that there is a time under the sun for everything. Do you understand it? There is a time and a season under the sun for everything. So there is a time to complain. There is a time to write petition. There is a time to go and meet Joe Biden. There is a time to go and meet Obama. There is time to go and meet Trump. There is time to meet United Nations. There is to meet EU. There is time to meet UK. There is time to meet OAU. There is time to meet all the governing bodies of the world. And there is time for Boko Haram to massacre you. Understand, no? There is also time for you to rise up against Boko Haram. There is also time for you to fight for your freedom. There was also time for one Nigeria to massacre us while we were only raising Biafra flag. Isn't it? There was also time for our women and children to be raped, for our fathers to be raped and killed. There have been time for one Nigeria to have sat us down on the table with our 7-point agenda and then annex our problems. There have also been time for Fulani terrorists to have come to the understanding that you cannot continue to kill one set of people in a contraption just for you to get Islamization agenda. Now, do you know the time that we are in now? It is no more time to be begging Biden. It is time for us to use the very, very hard stick. The hard stick that we are going to use, which Joe Biden now will sit back where he is and then start asking the questions that he refused to ask himself before. Petitions have been submitted to Joe Biden's administration in different ways. Why do I start with Joe Biden? Because Anthony Blinken, Secretary of the United States, is the one that wrote on his Twitter and posted it, threatening one UK did it before, United Nations did it before, threatening one Nigerian sovereignty, that anybody that opposes the election, they are not going to be granted asylum, they are not going to be listened to, they are going to be sanctioned, they are going to be that, they are going to be this, as if they have always been the one feeding us. Let me come back to something, sir. You, Africa, you, Nigerians, you, Biafrans, you are the people that are actually feeding the Americans. You are the people that are actually feeding the British. You are the people that are actually feeding the Europeans. You are the one feeding every Western world. None of them are feeding you. Now, do you know why when you go to America or UK or Europe, they give you asylum and then they also give you benefits? They also give you benefit to also enjoy good life. Like in Germany, some of the German citizens, they complain that the foreigners are even gaining more advantage than them, the German citizens. That foreigners that comes to their country, the government treat the foreigners better and like 90% to them than compared to them that are the citizens. Do you know where they are narrowing it to? Now, you are the citizen. Now, Paul, and you are from this country, right? Now, someone that is that country who just came from his own country, he now come and table his or her own problem, like this asylum issue. As they table it, the country now will now have to provide house for them. The country will provide food for them. The country will provide education for them. The country will provide everything that they need until the day they give them their papers complete, and then they can now get a job of their own. That is when the country will stop taking care of their needs. This is what the Germans are complaining. Why are they complaining? They are complaining because they don't understand that if they don't take care of these people well, when they come back to Africa to come and steal our resources, they will not be given good chances. You Africans are the ones feeding the Europeans, feeding the Americans, feeding the British, feeding the Chinese. The people that have not actually infiltrated Africa so much is the Russians. And that is why America, UK, NATO, Europe, they hate to see Russia in Africa, because they know when Russia comes to Africa, they are not coming for total exploration and exploitation. They are coming to help Africa to open their eyes to be able to face the common enemy, which is the Western world. That includes the Europeans, the Americans, the British, the UK, and the Chinas. Do you understand the point? So, as this same America, UK, EU, and United Nations are telling you, if you stop election in Biafra land or in one Nigeria, they are going to sanction you. Let them come and sanction us in Biafra land now. Since they are the owner of Biafra land, they are living in Biafra land. We are the one that will sanction that your oil and gas that is coming out from Biafra land to your own side. You people don't even know what is awaiting you. You think that we are not just shouting on this media like you people say we are just shouting on the media to be shouting like what the other people were shouting alongside with MNK for years, and they cannot put anything on the table. Now, come back to think of it. MNK was kidnapped in 2021 June, right? Now, today we are in 2023. Now, between 2012 that MNK has been talking and then working with these criminals to 2021 that he was kidnapped, how many things have these people helped MNK to achieve? I am asking a very simple question. How many things have they helped MNK to achieve? Nothing. Transformer that were to be installed in Biafra lands, they embezzled the money. They were the same people that went and connived with the Zoo government to cast the blame on MNK. Then they came back and said, MNK did this, MNK collected money for Transformer, he ate money, he did this and ate that. They are the same people that sabotage everything. Transformers that were even still sent to be installed in Biafra land for everybody to be listening. When you go and check from Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Abia, Anambra, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Ebonyi, Bayelsa, they make sure that they jeopardize everything. That is why all of you cannot be hearing the radio Biafra that MNK was always talking in all the provinces of Biafra land, because they embezzle so much of the money. Now, there is another thing I should bring to your notice. The Asian rep that died recently, which we talked about last month. Do you people know that this Asian rep that MNK, oh my God, MNK had sent money to the former Asian rep to be taken care of and brought out from where he was. And will it surprise you that most of these people that you hear, Asian rep, African rep, American rep, UK rep, that they don't even have document where they are? Most of them are street boys. So when they get caught by the government of the country, they go in for it because they are without papers. Before MNK was kidnapped, money was sent to Asia for the Asian rep to have been brought out of detention. They embezzled the money. How did they embezzle the money? They embezzled the money and then they put it on top of the head of one lawyer or one legal practitioner that died. Because they saw that MNK had been kidnapped, they now went and put it on the head of one legal practitioner that had died. They now say it was the legal practitioner that died that the money was given to. It was through his table that the case was being handled. So as the legal practitioner that died now could not come out to come and explain anything. A dead man, how can a dead man come to explain anything? They now put all the blame on a dead body of somebody that has already died. Now, we did not ask question. Why is it that the Asian rep died and then the DOS sent a voice note that they should not make it public, they should keep it secret? Why keep it secret? Why do you people don't want people to know? Most of these people have nothing doing, and they were using IPOB to make money. Now, I asked a question before. I said MNK was kidnapped in 2021, and today we are in 2023. Since MNK was kidnapped, you yourself, you can tell of the strides that we have put on the table. You can see what one Nigeria has become when we come on this media like this, that they say we are on social media. It is from this media that we speak, and one Nigeria will obey, and they will bow down to it. All the governors that shout, all the Ndibo and Walibo criminals shout. When it is the day of the sit at home that we tell them, sit at home, don't come out, all of them will obey and stay in the house. Nobody will make beep, they will not come out. But they will be talking. Hey, Simon Ekpa, you must arrest him. Autopilot, you must arrest them. They are causing havoc. They are doing this because they don't want MNK to come out, right? We have been able to establish another working communication medium. Since the radio Biafra that MNK has been using was being now used for criminology, propaganda, and gossip. Within how many months did you hear of VOB, Voice of Biafra? In some part of Biafra land, it's working. In some part, it's not working yet because we are still working on it. Now, the biggest thing that you should be talking about is MNK has been behind bars, and then we did not go back and relent in our effort to wait until when MNK comes out before we now come and continue the struggle, just like they did in 2015. When they kidnapped him, everybody went back and then waited until he came out again in 2017. That is when they now came and started again. But in this very era, MNK was kidnapped in 2021. Since that 2021, we have been giving it bombard to the zoo. And they are getting it hot. Now, ESN, which they had thought as they kidnapped MNK, they pay the DOS and everything that they have to ESN. We are making sure that the ESN are even increasing by number. We are making sure that every volunteer groups are coming together. We are making sure that everyone that wants to do something for Biafra are actually on the page. We are making sure that you understand that when MNK is kidnapped, it is the opportunity for you to use that is kidnapped to actualize Biafra. We're making you to understand that when MNK is kidnapped, This is the time you speak to the international community, and then they will listen and know the plight of the Biafran people. We are making sure that when MNK is kidnapped, it is this time that you stop election in Biafra land, so that the whole world will understand that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra have been kidnapped. And it is only through his release and a negotiation on the table of referendum for Biafra that any other thing will continue in one Nigeria and in the entirety of Biafra land. We have made sure that our people are no longer butchered like they used to be before. ESN was set up for this purpose, and we have not disappointed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Like he said, I will not disappoint you, but you will. But Autopilot have made sure they don't disappoint Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because when he ordained ESN, he said, we need your maximum cooperation. We need your support to this ESN for them to be able to work in a very viable manner. All of you need to cooperate with the ESN. You cooperate with ESN with your finance. You cooperate with ESN with your initiatives. You cooperate with ESN with every information that you have within your reach. You cooperate with ESN with everything that is happening. You cooperate with ESN by accepting them in your communities as ordained by Onyendu, because he set them up to be able to protect you. He is behind bars, but he foresaw the dangers ahead that was coming, and then he sent the Biafra to be there to protect you. Now, nobody is protecting him inside detention. He is doing sit at home inside detention. But you are not doing sit at home in your own houses. He set up ESN to protect you, while the same Fulani that kidnapped him have sent out some other foot soldiers to come and kill you. He already set up ESN to come and fight for you, but yet he is in detention. Can't you understand and then reason something? Biafrans, wake up, please. Onyendu is behind bars, but Onyendu set up security to protect you. Now, the people that put Onyendu behind bars are the same people that are unleashing the terror to come and kill you. Do you understand? Now, but Onyendu still understand that the people that kidnap him will not stop at kidnapping him, that they will go extra mile to make sure they go to kill his people. So he set up a security network and say, this security network will protect you when I am kidnapped. That is why his message of 2 weeks to his kidnap, he said, I am not telling you this as lamentation or complaint, but I am telling you to beef up your mind, to condition your brain, to prepare you for what is to come. He prepared ESN, put them in place for you. And now he is in detention. Is he complaining? The only complaint that he is complaining is when he see you become docile and imbecile. That when we say sit at home, you will be complaining. You will now be looking at your stomach, thinking of what you will eat and what you will not eat. When we say no elections in Biafra land, some of you will now be talking about Obidiot. Obidiot that has been in power for years, who has outrightly opened his mouth and told you that Nigeria is unworkable. He said he is not coming to change Nigeria because he cannot change Nigeria. But what is he coming to do? He is only coming to give you hope. He is only coming to give you hope. He said that everybody goes to church, but they say we should believe in God and go to heaven. But that he has never seen anybody that goes to heaven and come back to confirm that heaven is real. Do you understand what Obi is telling you? Obi now tells you that you should put the issue of Nigeria and him going into this quest of presidency as the hope that is enunciated in the Bible, that is also going there to play to the gallery, to also give you hope. Hope that when there is no hope given to you, that everybody will be running left, right, center in confusion. But what he has come into the place to do is to distract you with a hope of a hopeless Nigeria. He has come to give you a hope of a hopeless Nigeria, just to keep you abreast, so that you will not keep focus on your Biafra. That is what Obi said in that video. I will play it before we go again, because it's like a jingle to me. That is why I composed all of them together. You had a Fulani man say, I am vexed when I hear you call a Fulani man a criminal, because I am a Fulani man. And he spoke with pride. Obedient could not open his mouth and say, I am also vexed when you call Biafran people criminals because I am a Biafran. No, Obedient could not say that. Obedient could not say so. Obedient said, I am a proud Nigerian. But the Fulani man said, I am a proud Fulani man. And you don't need to manhandle my people because they answer the name Fulani. He then went on to tell you that there are also criminals in other ethnicities. So don't come and call my Fulani men criminals. He said it where he was doing political campaign, and it is there, viral. But Obedient is wearing the Fulani induction uniform that they sew for him, and is using it to walk around boldly, not ashamed of anything. And that is the person all of you want to go and vote. Biafrans, understand one very thing. We are facing a formidable array of enemies, both within and without. And we promise you one thing: we are going to overcome each and every one of them. We can assure you that is Onyendu for you. And we are going to overcome this one of these no elections in Biafra land. We are going to overcome this one of this obedience that is coming on the way. We are going to overcome this one of United Nations. We are going to overcome this one of UK. We are going to overcome this one of US. I want to assure Biafrans one thing. Do not be dismayed when you hear US, UK, UN, EU, OAU make noise about your stand on no elections in Biafra land, because they cannot help you. Do you see what is on the screen? Christians in Nigeria continue to be massacred despite pleas to the Biden or Joe Biden administration and United Nations. Are they not seated today? Are they not alive? They are still working. But they cannot come to the aid of the Christians that are being massacred in one Nigeria every day. But they can only come to the aid of one Nigeria when it is time for the elections. United Nations does not care about your life. The Biden administration does not care about your life. UK does not care about your life. EU does not care about your life. The OAU does not care about your life. Because if they do, they would have been in Nigeria to observe the massacre and then to bring one Nigeria to go long before now. The same one Nigeria officials, they are having meetings with them in the Commonwealth Organization, the United Nations, the EU, the UK, the American, the OAU. Every organization, they are having meetings with one Nigerian officials every day, every day. Why? Because of oil and gas. The only interest of that meeting is the oil and the gas and the natural resources that are coming out from one Nigeria and Biafra land, to be precise. But not for the well-being of the human beings that exist in that enclave called Zoological Republic. No, it is for the interest of the resources, to use it to harness and to enmax what? The wealth of the Western world. That is why. Ask yourself a question. When Taliban took over Afghanistan, what has United Nations been able to do to them in Afghanistan? Have United Nations gone into Afghanistan to go and fight the Taliban? Have EU gone to Afghanistan to go and fight the Taliban? Have UK done the same? Have US done same? Have NATO done same? Have OAU done same? No. What did they do? The first thing that they did was to send aircraft to pull out their citizens. They pulled out their citizens from Afghanistan, and then they left the citizens of Afghanistan to face their music. They left them at the mercy of the terrorists of the Islamization agenda in Afghanistan to face their music. This is the same America that has been brainwashing them for years. This is the same UK that have been brainwashing them for years. This is the same OAU that have been brainwashing them for years. This is the same EU. This is the same NATO that have been brainwashing them for years. This is the same Commonwealth and WHO that have been brainwashing Afghanistan for years, that they have their support. But when it was time that the terrorists were to sit in power of Afghanistan, and then they took charge, what all this Western world did was for them to pull out their citizens. They just used one rope and then polish all their citizens out of Afghanistan. And then they left all the Afghanistan citizens there and told them, face your music. What point am I making here? EU, UK, UN, US, UK, NATO, Commonwealth, OAU, they will not come to save you. Since 2012 and 13 that Obama was speaking in Nigeria there in that conference, has UK, UN, OAU, NATO, EU, have they come and help any of you? Obama's administration had come and gone. Donald Trump's administration has come and gone. Now you are in Biden's administration. And here in Biden's administration, Nigerians are still begging for Biden's administration to come to their aid. How will Biden's administration come to your aid if Obama's administration did not come to your aid? Like I said before, it is there in the book of Ecclesiastes. So he said there is time for everything. Under the sun, there is a time and season for everything. A time to be begging and a time for you to stop begging. A time to run away, a time to stand and then fight. A time to cry and a time to laugh. A time to be shy and a time to be bold. A time to be a killer and a time to be the prey. A time to see a terrorist and a time to see the people that will repel the terrorists. A time to be a prisoner and a time for you to imprison another person. A time for you to be someone to free other people and a time for you to be the slave. The hour has come and the time has come. Election in Biafra land. That is what we are saying here. Biafrans should understand that if you don't join your hands together, Oduduwa should also understand that if you don't join your hands together, if you don't join forces and stand and speak and continue to do that which you have to do, America, UK, they will not come to your aid. You have had 3 presidents. You have had Obama, you have had Donald Trump, and now you are having Biden. The same way that you were begging Obama, who initiated this Boko Haram caliphate and put in power, is the same way that you were now begging Trump to come to your aid while they were still massacring you. Did they come to your aid? I beg a person answer me. When one American was kidnapped by Boko Haram in Nigeria, it took the American snipers just few hours to invade the camp of the terrorists, rescue their one citizen. One, I mean one. I did not mean 2. I did not mean 3. I did not mean 4. One citizen. They came with snipers and then they invaded the camp of the terrorists. They picked out their one citizen whose life is more important than tens of thousands of Nigerians that have been killed for years since the time of Joe Biden. sorry, since the time of Obama to this time of Joe Biden, the numbers of people that have been killed are more than millions in Nigeria. Only last year, 2021, the number was showing 11,000 something. Now, 2022, the number was showing 10,000 something. All dying from the hands of Fulani terrorist attack. That is just 2021 and 2022. Before, they do not keep these records. But there has been some companies that are now keeping these records and trying to track some records of numbers of the massacres. Even if they cannot get the accurate figures, they are able to get like 11,000 for 2021. They are able to get like 10,000 and something for 2022. And now we are where? We are in January 2023. And today, in my own time, is 28. Now, do you know the numbers of people that have been killed since January of 2021, the first day of January to this very day in one Nigeria? It is more than thousands now. It is more than thousands because they are not putting it to the media. All the ones killed in Yamufu, all the ones killed in Okigwe, all the ones killed in Uli, all the ones killed in Iyana, all the ones killed in Olu. Are we now going to talk about the ones killed in Southern Kaduna? Is it the one in Borno? Is it the one in Nasarawa? Is it the one in Niger? Is it the one in Autumn State, Benue? The records are there, but they are not pushing it to the media because it has been suppressed. So read something here with me. So as you are going to plead bidding, you finish pleading bidding, administration to come to your aid, he will not come. And then you still go back to go and vote the same people that are killing you to put them into power. You are doing yourself more than harm than good. Christians in Nigeria continue to be massacred despite their pleas to Joe Biden's administration and United Nations, who only fit fight on your dead bodies. For months, Christians Solidarity International has been urging the United Nations to fulfill its mandate to prevent genocide in Nigeria. In the past month, another 150 Christians have been killed in separate attacks across the Benue State, according to youth leader Daniel Adakole. Adakole says the piecemeal attacks occurred during an almost daily basis. During an almost daily basis. Do you understand what that means? That means there is no day that they don't massacre somebody in Benue State. There is no day that they don't massacre somebody in Benue State. Who massacre them? The Fulani terrorists. It occurs on daily. The other post that I made was it yesterday or the day before. It showed how 30 to 37 Nigerians are being massacred daily by Fulani terrorists. Are you still going for 2023 elections of Peter Obi and Jagaban Atiku? To my Oduduwa brothers and to my Biafran brothers, this message are for you, and also to the Middle Beltans. If and only if there were no Eastern Security Network, the same way that you hear these numbers skyrocketing in Benue and other parts of the north, the numbers in the eastern part of Nigeria would have been 10 times of what you see in Benue and the northern part of Nigeria. Why? Because this is where you even have, in the north, this is where you have some of the elite in power in one Nigeria. But yet, this is where the Boko Haram number of casualties are increasing more than every other place in one Nigeria. So do you ask yourself the question and say why? The reason is because the Biafran people are resisting. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is resisting them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is resisting them. See, there's something people need to reckon on. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in detention. But as he is in detention, he is resisting one Nigeria, but he is in detention. No? Hey, wisdom man. God gave him the wisdom of all times. He is in the hands of the terrorists. They held him and then they keep him. But the same Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has set a trap for the one Nigerian government that they are crying every day. They cannot come in and then kill all of us because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu set up ESN to fight them. And now they have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in their trap, in their own box, but they cannot do him anything. Do you get the point? That is why they go from all the court. They see nothing against him. They say, release him. They don't want to release him because they know they are holding him against his will as a political prisoner. He has nothing to say, and they have nothing to say. So, if people are taken as a piecemeal attack, and it is on almost a daily basis something, and these have displaced thousands of rural farmers in the area, regarded as the country's food basket. You see this? As the country's food basket. Now, the Fulani terrorists knows that food will sustain all of you. And first, they want to go and attack where some of the food produce are being cultivated and then harvested and then sent into the first part of one Nigeria for people to buy and consume. So where do they want to go and attack first? They decide to go and attack that side because they know that when they weaken the source of the distribution of food to the country where everybody will see and buy, all of you now will be hardship to your faces. That is why you are seeing the hardship to your faces. Because the cost of commodity now, foodstuffs, is very, very high. That is why a bag of rice is talking about 50-something thousand. That is why groundnut oil is going very high. That is why onions, one onions you can buy for 200 naira, you buy for 150. Just one onions. That is why the beef that they even have sex with the cow before they come to sell to you, the price is very high and you are still buying it to eat. As you are eating, you are being hypnotized. Your brain is going upside down and you're beginning to walk like DOS, who will carry their head and put on the ground and say they are walking on the ground for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why potato, that is why groundnut, that is why beans, that is why yam. Most of these things are being cultivated in Benue State and this very part here. That is how they have been able to weaken that side so that the food basket of the country will be weak and most of you will be hungry. So when you now see hunger, whatever they give you as a condition in one Nigeria, you will run for it. Do you understand the point? It is a strategy set out by the British and then handed over to the Fulani Caliphate in power for them to use as a template. And there is nothing you can do about it. You can only grumble. But the only solution for it is for us to end Nigeria. Support Biafra. Support Biafran movement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is there inside. And we are here. Mazi Simon Ekpa is here. The Biafran people are here. Autopilot are here. Mother are here. ESN are waxing strong. That is why we are asking for your support. No elections in Biafra land is the key to break the chains of this slavery and this hegemonic tendency if you must live and be alive to even see your next tomorrow, less to talk of your next generation. It is people that are alive that would be thinking of their next generations. If you're not alive, you cannot be thinking of your next generations. According to Benue State officials, close to 2 million internally displaced persons were living in camps in the state in March 2022. Do you understand? Now I ask you a question. What has the Joe Biden administration, the United Nations, the UK, the OAU done about this your condition? Nothing. Nothing. The only thing that the United Nations and International Criminal Court did was that the United Nations official secretary came to Nigeria and then he said he went to the internally displaced camps, the IDP camps. He watched and saw the helpless Nigerians at the mercy of terrorists now occupying a tarpaulin house. Tarpaulin house, our own ancestral houses and lands are now in the hands of the terrorists. And what did he say? He said he encouraged the government of the day to reintegrate the terrorists and then bring them back into the same society again so that they will now come and live. They will now come and live with the same people that they have raped their mothers, raped their fathers, raped their children, cut them to pieces, and then butchered them. That was what the United Nations Secretary said, Antonio Guterres. That was last year, late last year. The attorney of International Criminal Court also came, and his own was that he was advising one Nigeria of the way and manner they can always truncate the report, how they can truncate the reportage that is coming out from Nigeria about the incessant massacre and killings of the Fulani Jihad plan, so that the international community will not be seeing the report the way they are supposed to see it. This is the advice that the attorney of International Criminal Court of the Hague gave to one Nigerian government when they visited late last year, after seeing the helpless Nigerians in IDP camps. These are the same helpless Nigerians that they will now see take is it a polling box? They will take polling box to their IDP camps and go and tell them to come and cast their vote. Chai! Do you know that your leaders are very, very wicked? Your leaders are very wicked, the most wicked of it all. If your leaders can still have the mind of putting you in IDP camp at the mercy of terrorists, and at the same time, they still have the courage to come and tell you that you should vote inside IDP camp. These are people that have been in IDP camp since the year 2012. Year 2012 to this very year that we are here now. If you come from year 2012 to 2013, 2023, how many years? Roughly maybe 13 years. Ballot box, thank you, my brother. Roughly 13 years, people have been in IDP camp, living there. But since that time, they have not fought the Fulani terrorists who have stopped them from conducting elections in those areas. When they hear of the Biafran stop elections in Biafra land, it is now all their shoulders need to stand up. It is now they want to do Boka. All of them now want to do Boka, because it has come to the Biafran people. They want to do Boka. They want to do Boka. UN want to do Boka. UK want to do Boka. US want to do Boka. OAU want to do Boka. EU want to do Boka. WHO want to do Boka. Because the freedom of Biafrans has come. Like Master Simon Ekpa said, we shall be your end. You people have been allowing Nigerians to be massacred in numbers in the north. But since Martin Nnamdi Kanu set up ESN, we have been able to truncate the killings and curtail it. And we are not only going to stop them. Elections is not going to hold for you people to understand the madness that is in the Biafran people. Now, Benue has turned to a shooting range for these jihadists, and the government is doing nothing to stop them. Lamented Adakule. Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has consistently accused President Muhammadu Buhari, himself a Fulani Muslim, of turning a blind eye to the attacks in Benue. Now, Dr. John Eyipna, the president of CSI, warned that Nigeria has experienced a spike in atrocity crimes committed against Christians since U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's decision last November to remove Nigeria from the U.S. own list of countries of particular concern who violate religious concerns. Do you understand it now? When I told you, was it yesterday broadcast or a day before, that Antony Blinken, the Secretary of the United States, is the one that removed Nigeria from that list. That happened in 2021. Since they removed Nigeria from that list, the massacre has even increased. And since then, they have not come and say they should put them back or to come and do anything. It is not even about putting them back on the list. When you put them on the list, it doesn't change anything. How does that concern the Boko Haram? How does that concern the jihadists? How does that concern the ISWAP? How does that concern the Ansari group? When you go and put them on the list, you keep the list in America. Do the Boko Haram travel to America? Do the Ansari group travel to America? Do the ISWAP group that is in Nigeria killing people, do they travel to America? So what does the list of religious violation that you will do and then keep it in America play as a consistent factor or something that will change in the killings of the people in one Nigeria and in Biafra land? Nothing will change. The thing will even intensify the more because they will see a level playing field to make sure it goes on. But the Biafran people are telling you enough is enough. You have been killing in the north and the numbers are uncountable. But in Biafra land, we sure we combat bomber to bomber. The time that we plead and then pray and then cry to United Nations, US Secretary of State, UK, OAU, EU, China, that time don't come, don't pass. We cannot be shouting and then crying from January to December. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hands of the terrorists. And Biafrans are being kidnapped every day. No. And massacred as well. No. It is time they understand what Biafra actually means. Now, CSI has been pressuring both the Biden administration and the United Nations to respond to the situation in Nigeria, which EPNA has said is now at the threshold of genocide. Now, do you understand that United Nations, UK, and Biden administration is aware of what is happening in Nigeria? Do you understand it now? This one now is not coming from the Biafran people that made the petition. This one is coming from a body, an organization that is situated in United States. They study and then they understand the plight of the people of Nigeria that are being killed every day. So they now went and then made this comprehensive report, and then they send this to the table of Joe Biden. They send this report to the table of the United States Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. This report is there. Joe Biden overlooks it. But today, Joe Biden and his government, they are giving you a sanctioning warning of stopping elections in Biafra land. Tell them to come to Biafra land and come and give us the sanction. Because as they are killing these people here, they don't come to their aid, but they only stay where they are to talk rubbish about self-determination. We are not saying that you should even come and try to do the election. We are not saying that we are going to boycott. What we are saying is no elections in Biafra land. That is what we are saying. Now, understand it very clear. Our point is that Biafrans are going to stay in the house. Now, we had World Igbo Congress say they have recruited another set of people And Anyan Igbo, Anyan group, is the group that is in charge of this dead men squad that they are going to use for the elections, during the elections, and after the elections to prepare the ground because of elections. World Igbo Congress, in line with the Southeast governors and Ohanese, they have been able to set up another dead men squad, but they cannot set up dead men squad to fight the Boko Haram and the Fulani terrorists that are killing you in the community. They cannot set up SAME to protect you and fight the Fulani terrorists that are killing you in Umutanzi. They cannot do SAME to combat the terrorists that are killing you in Okigwe. They cannot do SAME to combat the terrorists that are killing you in Olu, Iyala, Uli, Owomama, and many other places in Biafra land. But they can set up a dead man squad that will come to work for the politicians because of Peter Obi. Chai! Alomero, who did this to Ndibo? It is quite disheartening that the enemy is looking for who to use to annihilate your people, and you are the one making yourself useful and available to be used. You did not even allow the enemy to go and be looking for. You are the one that went and offer yourself to the enemy and say, use me to destroy my people because of the love of money. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. No wonder Onyendu said that you people are full of backstabbing, destroying one another, and plotting evil against another. And that is what you did to Martin Nnamdi Kanu. In December 2020, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court reported that there was a reasonable basis to believe that the sectarian terrorist groups in Nigeria and the Nigerian armed forces have committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. CSI issued a genocide warning for Nigeria in January 2020 and operate a website www.nigeria-report.org to spread awareness about the crisis of the sectarian violence in Nigeria. Now, the question you should ask yourself is, after International Criminal Court gave reasons for people to understand that the Nigerian government with its Fulani soldiers and terrorists are colluding together with the terrorists on ground and then making sure they slaughter, kill, destroy. I ask you one simple question. What did the International Criminal Court attorney do, or prosecutor? They did nothing. But what they came to do last year was to come to Nigeria and advise Nigerian government for them to be able to sanction the reportage of the insecurity in Nigeria so that it will not come out. Did you see this report that I'm reading now? This report is in 2020. This very last part is in 2020. The very last paragraph is in 2020. And since 2020, what has the International Criminal Court done for you? Nothing. They only feed fat on your oil and gas. But your lives are not of importance to them. What are you to understand here now? That despite all the massacre, that is ongoing in Nigeria, that the Nigerian government are aiding and abetting the United Nations, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the EU, UN, WHO, NATO, Commonwealth, OAU, all these international bodies that you hear their names making noise every day, they are all aware of what is happening in that your contraption. And as they are aware, they are doing nothing about it, but only for election too, because your lives are not important. So as you are dancing to the gallery of obedience, dancing to the gallery of Peter Kwankwaso, dancing to the gallery of Jakaban, dancing to the gallery of Atiku, what awaits you is worse more than what has happened already. So you need to wake up. You need to wake up, because the Biafran people have made up their mind, and nothing is going to stop them from what they have said they are going to do. Let us look for this video of Obedience. I want to play the video of Obedience for you people to listen.
Biafran war has ended 53 years ago and should remain ended. So in compensating them, there's so many things we need to look at. Maybe we won't compensate them, but compensating them, there's so many things we need to look at. Maybe we won't compensate them, but
our intention is that we are Muslims.
Maybe we will compensate them. Maybe we will not compensate them. This is someone that is a Biafran, and he's telling you that Biafran ended. And he is not talking as a Biafran. He is taking himself out. He is claiming himself now to be a Nigerian that is not a Biafran. So who will now be compensating who? Is it Obedient, who is a Biafran, who will now be compensating the same Biafran? Because you know, madness they run for this man's brain. You are a Biafran, and you are the one that will be compensating the Biafran, because you rightly said they will not be compensated. So if we were to even be talking about compensation, is it you that is a Biafran that will now be compensating the same Biafran? Are you the one that killed your own people in the 60s to 70s? A Fulani man is very proud to call himself a Fulani man, but Obedient cannot be proud to identify himself as a Biafran. Now you're going to hear what the Fulanis are telling you. A Biafran man just told you that Biafra ended and that he should not be allowed to come back. But Biafra has existed for over 500 years to this very day. Now, this jihad conquest that you hear of, it was started in 1800 by Woodman and Fodio. I don't know if they had it before and then they stopped. But Woodman and Fodio reenacted it in 1804. Now, 1804, please let us do calculation. 1804 to 2023. 1804 minus 2023. How many years is that? 201, Abi? 219. Now, please, you people should go and also calculate for me. 1529 to 2023. I am using 1529 now, just to bring the number down small. Biafra has ended, has existed 500 years ago. Now, when you calculate 1529 to 2023, you are seeing 494 years. But it is more than that, is over 500. The oldest map that I traced on the media showed that Biafra had existed 500 years ago. And the British, the Americans, the Europeans, the Chinese, the Asians, and the Russians, they all recognize this Biafra region on their map and respected it. It is through that map that they made their way to this bite of Biafra to come and start their slavery. That is where the Portuguese came to start their slavery. When the Americans and the Spanish saw that the Portuguese were making so much money from the slave trade in the Biafra region, that is why Britain now decided to come in to have a deal with the Spanish and the Europeans and the Portuguese so that they can now get a fat share of that slavery in that trade. That is how UK, this Britain that you see now, that is how they came in and they were making it. Taking your mothers and your brothers and sisters to UK to be working as slaves. They built the British Empire. They built everything that you see there today. It is your brothers and sisters and my brothers and sisters, my fathers and your mothers, your ancestors and mine, that built the UK and the America that you see today, that people are enjoying. The slaves are the people that they even use, see, you see, when they carry us as slaves, they use us to change as commodity. Britain used us to change as commodity, to harness their crown. You see that crown where Queen Elizabeth that just died? That crown, it is the blood of your brothers and sisters and mine that they use us to change as commodity. They change us for gold. They change us for diamond to collect money. And they use all this to do what? To build that British or that Britain or that British Empire, whichever way that you call it. And today it is the same people that want you to see continue in the slavery. It beat my imagination where in 2023, where people are developing their mindset, you see that your aspirants of presidency are now going to the same UK to go and tell them, oh, our colonial masters, we have come to pay loyalty. We have come to give you the template and to collect your template of how we are going to go and plague our people for the next 4 and 8 years and 12 years. They call Chatham House. Most of you do not understand much what is inside our history. I am not an history student. I did not read history. But what I do is that I go to make research before I come here. So don't expect me to go very, very deep because I know read history as a course. But you need to know more about your history. The reason why they remove history from your curriculums in One Nigeria is so that you will not have a clue of your genealogy. When you don't have a clue of your genealogy, you will be blind forever. That is why in 2023, people are clapping for Obedient and Jakaban, Kwankwaso, Showore, Atiku, and all of them going to Chatham House, the colonial master's house, where they use your brothers and sisters to exchange for gold and diamond to be able to build the crown. You are still going there in 2023 to go and bow down to them again and collect another template to come and continue the hegemonic tendency in your own country. Not to collect it and implement to the UK people, but to collect it and then bring it back to come and implement it in Nigeria for the people of Nigeria to continue to suffer. While the UK people will now sit down and they will be drinking wine. They will be enjoying while you go back to enslave your own people for their own interests. This is why we say Biafra must come. You love it or you hate it, Biafra must come. Listen to how a Fulani man is preparing the mindset of their people on their jihad, their holy war as they call it, so that one Nigeria will remain in their hands. But Obedient was telling you that Biafra should not be had again. But the Fulani man is telling you that We must continue our jihad. Can you see the double standards of obedience? Or can you see the stupidity of obedience? Or what will I call it? Which other grammar should I use? I don't go school too much, I beg. When I take a music with me.
Are Muslim preachers. That is why we gather the leaders of different sections, leaders of Sangaya, leaders of Zari, and all others in order to sensitize people about this agenda we have in view. That is ensuring that we choose a Muslim and a Muslim, what we call the Muslim ticket. The union we invited are about 75 in number, especially the Izala Union from Kaduna, Izala Union from Jos, Salafia, Kadaria, Tirjaniya, GTI, M1, Form 1.
Please, if you want to join the studio for your contributions, I have pasted the link now on the comment section. And the line is open. You can call in as well. We are almost rounding up, so we wouldn't have too much time left to stay in the studio. So if you want to join to give your contributions, you can click the link and join the studio. And if you want to call, you can call the number on the screen now. You can call this number on the screen. Please, that is the number to call on WhatsApp or Telegram.
And women in Dawa, together with our Yoruba Muslim brethren that are here, our Igbo Muslim brethren with the union of all Imams of Kano State, we rally round all the unions so that we can have good platform to pass this message. What we show the leaders is that it is not a matter of coming to build road and infrastructure for you or the promise of giving you position. What we are talking about is who will establish the dignity of Islam.
What we are coming for you is not for development, it's not for schools, it's not for company, it's not to build road, it's not to give you enabling environment to develop your skills, it's not to harness your skills that you have, it's not to push you to the technological world, it's not to make your children to research or to learn more. Our own as Fulani is just about the jihad, the Islamization. Are you getting the point? Obedience on is that obedience said Biafra has ended and must end. While a Fulani man is telling you that our own is not about coming to make Nigeria anything good, coming to develop anything. Our own is just that we want our Islamization project to be achieved. Pop and simple. Do not beat around the bush. Do not go front and come back. We don't come to develop road for you. We don't come to build school for you. Our own are to make one target. Our own target is just what? Islamization. And they will get it when they have the person that is of their best interest, in their own position of power. Our own is no elections in Biafra land, because Obedient own is one Nigeria. So Obedient is not on the same page with us. So forget Obedient because he's a fool. We are just making you to understand the betrayal that runs in the veins of this Obedient and the like people like him.
Have good platform to pass this message. What we show the leaders is that it is not a matter of we are coming to build road and infrastructure for you or the promise of giving you position. What we are talking about is who will establish the dignity of Islam and
who will establish the dignity of Islam. That is what they are doing. Now, who will establish the dignity of Biafra is what the Biafran people are doing. Who will establish the restoration of Biafra is what the Biafrans are doing. Who will establish the dignity of Biafra is already there. You people held him and is in detention. Now, we have another man that is standing in, Mazi Simon Ekpa. who is here on the restoration of Biafra. So you people should send message to Obi that our own is that who is restoring Biafra is what we are doing now. Obedience said Biafra ended and should end. If you say Biafra ended and should end, I have no problem with the people that fought before for Biafra because they fought gallantly. They did not die as cowards, but they died with honor because they fought and then they died fighting. Not like you, Obedient, that is a coward that is running away from the terror that is coming, and you are licking the wounds of the Boko Haram terrorists. So, our fathers fought and then they stopped somewhere, and we have come to restore that thing, that Biafra that they fought for and they stopped somewhere. It is on restoration mode. So, for some of you that are good on IT areas, when we are talking of restoration of the computer system, we know what it means. So we are now doing what? Restoration. We are restoring the Biafra now. So if you like, continue to sing song of Biafra did this in 60 or 55 years. It's not our problem. We are here on restoration mandate. But Fulani is surprising you. That is telling you boldly to your face that their own mandate is to make sure the Fulanization stand and not about this election madness. I was telling somebody today in my office, I said, Fulani do not have time for your elections. So they work in a very synchronized manner. They have people that they will put in place to come and engage you in the election madness. Then they have the other ones that are the foot soldiers that as you are talking now, they are already in your bushes, laying ambush and excavating the next place that they want to attack. They have the other ones that they put in power as the president, who is there to sit down to align their plan to be working out even in the next 20 years to come. So as you are shouting of power, 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 president, Igbo man, Calabar man, Ibibio man, Igala man, Enugu man, Ishekiri man, Urubu man, Hausa man, Fulani man, president, Yoruba man, president. They are strengthening the route to their own jihad. And you are there wasting your time, deceiving yourselves. Wake up. Oh. The only people that do not back down on their conquest when they start is the Fulani people. Go and check your history very well. They will fight and then they will anticipate this fight. In 20 years to come, they will be continuing the plan. So, what they did not accomplish in the 60s, which our gallant men of the Eastern Extraction curtailed from that coup of January 15, what they were not allowed to accomplish after 1960s to 70s. Today now we are in 2023. They use a template to work on it since that time ahead of 2023. And today, they are still working on it to make sure to book. Do you understand the point? That is how consistent Fulanis are on their conquest plan. The Biafran people of this time, their consistency is double born. And we are going to surprise the entire world. We are not bragging. We are just telling you the reality. The kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made it to come very quick. And it has also made it easy for people that have been massacred in Nigeria to be free very quick, because kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the eye-opener to the entire world, and it is the connecting dot for Biafra emancipation and restoration in this time that you are in. So be glad that you are alive in this time to be part and parcel of this mandate.
New position. What we are talking about is who will establish the dignity of Islam and also uphold the respect of our religion. This candidate support our religion. For that reason, we are with him. When anyone dishonor our religion, we will tell the people that we are not with him. But the major issue we want to tell people is that a Muslim, no matter where he is better than an infidel. And when you join two Muslims, they will give you the victory that one Muslim cannot give you. This is why we have been sensitizing the people to understand that the Muslim ticket is very serious and it's a jihad to us.
That the Muslim ticket is very serious and it is a jihad. It is a jihad, which means the holy war. It is a jihad and it means the holy war. If you did not get it well, that place is sweet. Make you get them again.
This is why we have been sensitizing the people to understand that the Muslim ticket is very serious and it's a jihad to us.
It is a jihad to us. It is a jihad. That is the holy war to us. That is what it means. The holy war of fighting to kill all of you because you do not believe on the same faith and their ideology. When they said fighting against the infidels, they are referring to you as a Christian, you as any other religion or any other belief that is not of the same faith, going on the same page and pace with them. It is you that they now tell to be the infidel. So now listen to what Obedience will now come to say. Oh, you'll be surprised again. After a Fulani man don't tell you now, say, our own is to make sure our jihad continues. Our Islamization continues. Here, Obedience now. Obedience will now disgrace you.
Us as leaders.
As for the issue of those compensate those who died during the Biafra and everything, it's something, again, if you look at my broadcast of 15th of January this year, I did a broadcast where I said Biafran war has ended 53 years ago and should be remain ended. People not try to reenact it. And the only way to make it so that it's ended is that we now have to build a country called Nigeria. And that's why I've always said to people, I'm not contesting an election because it is turn of the Southeast. No, I don't want anybody to vote for me on that basis. I'm a proud Igbo man, proud Southeasterner, but I'm even more proud Nigerian. So in compensating them, there's so many things we need to look at. Maybe we won't compensate them, but maybe there's the places where we need to apologize.
Unfortunately, the topic and issue in Nigeria is restructuring. Restructuring my foot. To hell with restructuring.
You don't know how it pains me in my heart when you label criminals as Fulanis, because I'm a Fulani man.
To hell with restructuring.
You don't know how it pains me in my heart when you label
is restructuring. Restructuring my foot. To hell with restructuring.
You don't know how it pains me in my heart when you label criminals as Fulanis, because I'm a Fulani man.
Is restructuring. Restructuring my foot. To hell with restructuring.
You don't know how it pains me in my heart when you label criminals as Fulanis, because I'm a Fulani man.
This is quite a sensitive question, and the question is asking, it says, tribal militia men are overtaking communities in southern Kaduna, Benue, Niger, Plateau, and recently Enugu states, and settling in their ancestral lands. How will these government stop the influx of nomadic militia gangs in these rural areas?
They are part of what we intend to, again, discuss. So we are going to sit down to discuss with them and the invaders, if there are. It's something that I will be open to discuss. and arrive at again an agreement that will make each of them to live peacefully.
Let me say this: since 1999, when I started witnessing democracy, a little bit younger then, I'm just 34 now. I started seeing people come and campaign. It comes with a very interesting wind of hope. You know, you just look like Nigeria is about to change. Vroom, the person will win. We will now be looking for the hope. We will not see it. It just keeps going and going. In fact, there's a particular one that I don't want to be too specific. The country felt like this was it. Everybody was, if you don't vote for that person, you become, everybody was really going that way. It will come again. Vroom. The person will come and sit and we'll be looking for the hope and the success we're all waiting for. So I want to ask a quick question. This is that same wind of hope blowing, and everyone is believing in it. Two things are: first is, what's different about this particular wind of hope? What's different? What's on the package that is different, that will not look like the other one that sincerely broke my heart, without being too specific? You know, what is different about it? That's my first.
People don't change when they get to power. People don't change because they see money. When people get to office or they're in power, they actually bring out their true character. So don't think that anybody go to the office and change. No. You know a measure of a man when he has power or money. He doesn't have money, can be the most honest man. He doesn't have power, he could be the most humble person. But when you give him small power, if you come back, you'll be wondering whether it's this man has been condemning those who are in power that is behaving like this.
Yes.
So, office doesn't change people. Neither do money change people. They bring out their true character. That's one. I'm not saying I'm going to change Nigeria overnight. That's one. I'm not saying I'm going to change Nigeria overnight. Change people. Neither do money change people. They bring out their true character. That's one. I'm not saying I'm going to change Nigeria overnight. Change people. Neither do money change people. They bring out their true character. That's one. I'm not saying I'm going to change Nigeria overnight. No. Change people. Neither do money change people. They bring out their true character. That's one. I'm not saying I'm going to change Nigeria overnight. No. The problems are enormous. What I'm saying is that
it's even impossible to change Nigeria overnight.
Where we are now is very simple. We're on the wrong road. If you don't know where you're going, every road will lead you there. So what we're doing now, we get up in the morning, turn right, go right, turn left. You drive up hope. And once there's hope, people have faith in the country. We go to church today, believing we will go to heaven. None of us have seen anybody who went to heaven. But we have hope. And that hope is not just having our faith to believe in God. But if we come out tomorrow and they say there's no heaven, then there's no place to go. So everybody's anything you like, you do. Because there's no true hope. I want to give Nigerians hope so they can have.
Wants to give you people hope that is in a hopeless Nigeria so that you continue dying. He will be deceiving you in the hope of having a hopeless life. Okay. Max, welcome to the studio. Neo from here.
Thank you so much, Mazi Sone. God bless you for staying this long. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bless you.
May God bless all the great sons and daughters of Biafra land in this struggle. And God will never leave us alone. I never knew that you would be awake.
Oh, my time difference. My time
Yeah, I
difference
see.
is the point here, and
Yeah,
my kind of work as well. So my work only allows me to be free from this time. That's why
yeah,
most of the fundraising, I do the fundraising in my work.
I
And
see.
some
Here
programs I
is
even
a
at work.
yeah, here in Ghana is about 01.23 hours. So it is
Ah,
morning here. I just I left most of our strong and very very formidable media warrior platforms. I was in Dr. Damage's platform few hours ago. My position is known, and nothing will change that.
and I
For
must
those
I
of
must commend you, Max. Max, I must commend you because I've been seeing your trends everywhere. I must commend you. You are hitting them hard. Keep up the good work, Max. Keep
I
up the good
see,
work.
Brother Sonny, if that is the only thing that I can afford, yeah, I would do that because I have my maternal link from Abia State, and that is where my mother come from. So whatever that affects the eye will surely affect the nose.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the reason we must. You see, this war, like I said, this is my message today to all great Biafrans. Please, we have started this journey. We have started this journey. There is no going back.
Yes.
If we go back right now, these people are going to erase us on the surface of that threat Iran is making on Israel is what the Britain and those foreign powers that have interest in the resources of Nigeria, that is what they are going to help them to do to us. Because these people know us more than we know ourselves. And the mistake our politicians are doing today is the same thing most of them did in the past. I believe that it is even worse right now as we speak, my brother, and all the great sons and daughters of Biafra. It is worse now. We are fighting formidable war. And that was the approach Maz Nnamdi Kanu took, was to soften the ground with his information, which sank very, very well in the ears of people, including me that is talking here today. That is one of the vital instruments of winning a war. If you get hold of communication and food, you've strategically won that war. Because as you are fighting and you are seeing food to eat, you will get more strength to fight. If you don't have food to eat, you will not fight. And that was the reason why they know the importance of it. That was why they gave us blockade before. And we will not allow them to blockade it again. That is why I said, may God continue to bless all of you and give you the strength to do more. May God bless Mazen Namdekan even at that dungeon. May God continue to bless him. May God continue to bless Mazen Simon Ekpa. I am announcing today that I am equerimarized and I am fully equerimized by that equerimaristic Mazi Simon Ekpa. I am totally in support of whatever he is doing. And I pray that the enemies, God will hide him in the eyes of the enemies. God will hide every strong Biafra, every strong agitator in the hands of our enemies. May God bless you. May God protect you too and your family. May God protect all Biafrans wherever they are and prosper them. I say good morning, my people. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mazi, for your submission, and Biafrans loves you so much. Keep up the faith and keep the fire burning, and let that flag flies above sea level from your very end. So Biafrans, we thank you all for being with us and watching. We will likely replay the broadcast during the daytime so that other people can reach out. Because knowing our time differences here, other people may not be able to watch now, and they will do so when it is convenient in their own time. So what you can do for them is hit the button and share so that people can be able to come in and watch when it is online. I don't care. Biafra, welcome to this. They will from here. Sweet as that. Omarejama. Oyo.
Ndewo nwanne m. Ndewo nwanne m. Ndewo. You are doing great job. I say kudos to you, my brother. It is not easy.
Salute you all.
France, exactly the same thing you said.
Obi, before you go on, please, let me commend you first for your good work because you are one of those fire that is burning outside there. And you're not allowing the zoo and the criminals to be at rest. We appreciate your good work and keep firing them the more. Fire them. Let them feel it and understand that we are not here for play. And I appreciate, I was on the Twitter space today.
Because we have
nature. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, let me refresh. Voice is not coming out in time. Let me refresh.
But I can hear you.
And all of you will suffer if you don't repent. You will suffer. Mark my words somewhere, you will suffer if you don't repent from your evil ways. You take money from murderers and from killers to suppress the truth. Biden doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria because they rely on the ambassador to feed them accurate information. And that is not happening because they've been bribed. And that is why people are dying in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place in turmoil, not making it onto the front pages of newspapers all over the world. Nobody talks about it because they are all compromised. They've been bribed. We don't need your one Nigeria to survive. They try, can you imagine the nonsense? They brought in their food blockade. They said we will not send food to the south. They are perishable goods. So the items got spoiled in the north. The government now turned around to pay them almost 500 billion.
Don't mind them.
As I was saying, I appreciate that Biafra. I appreciate every Biafran that are sharing and doing one thing and another out there. And let me use this opportunity to also appreciate Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece, we engaged on Twitter space today during my lunchtime. So I jumped in and I was able to drop some things there. So Mouthpiece, I must commend you, Biafran Writers of Conscience, and that is Dim Justice, Arinze, Ifeanyi, and many other people. Chisitere was also there, Eunice was there.
Yeah.
Those are the people I was able to spot. I saw Critics News there. Many people were there. So I am so happy for the fire you people are burning, and I must commend you. It's not only when you are here with us in the studio that you are reckoned on. You are all reckoned on from wherever you are doing something. And we encourage everyone to follow us on Twitter so that When we engage some Efulefus and educating them on Twitter, you will also be there to bombard them and give them what they need. We listened to someone that was claiming to be American, who is actually from one Nigeria, and he was speaking yeah, who does not even know his ancestral root, talking all sort of rubbish.
Don't mind that
So,
they are the one that caused 9/11 here. Don't mind that Fulani terrorist in America. They are the one that caused 9/11 over here. Don't mind them.
so
It's,
kudos to Biafrans because we
yeah,
are everywhere. So, Ada
we are.
Biafra, give your contributions before we run come up for this studio.
Okay, you've done a great job. Kudos to you. It's not easy talking almost for 3 hours, and you've done justice to this Efulefu and this one Nigeria singers. What only thing I want to add is that a blood-sucking demon doesn't drink wine. It doesn't drink ice cream. It doesn't drink anything except that blood. And they are thirsty demon, thirsty for your blood unless you fight back. Time for defending yourself is now. Time to kill back is now. When they kill you, you kill them. They know that you are ready. Just listen. When they say sit at home, sit at home. Sit at home doesn't kill anybody. If you come out, this IGBO and whatever they've created, unknown gunmen and ungunmen dog, I don't know what they call them. They are out there together with the Fulani, together with the ISWAP, together with all these Boko Haram Fulani terrorists. They will want to use you as sacrificial lamb. I want you to check Willie Obiano page in Texas. These people don't have anything to offer to you. They have their tickets to disappear any moment. You don't even have passport to start with. You don't even have money. When they finish dealing with you, they will use your blood, sacrifice, and disappear. They have private jets. They have visas. They are citizens in everywhere. So, Biafrans, the war is on your doorstep. Don't relent. Consistency is the key. We are going home. We are going home. I'm here because they are killing you. Biafra lives matters to me. I can't sleep because you are not sleeping. This is the only time. If you believe that you want to vote for B, if you vote for that, you will be, because of course there's no election in Biafra land. Whether you will vote from Sahel. When you fail, you cannot say nothing. That is the implication why we will do it now. Because if you want to support anybody, where is the thing coming? Am I hearing my voice? Whenever you decide to vote, when we say no voting, no election, we are not even participating. Boycotting, no. We say no election in Biafra land. Because they have been making mistakes voting since 1952. Did you hear me? 1952 till now. Your life, they don't value your life. So why are you risking your life again? Because of 2,000 or 1,000 or politicians? This is the time for us to go home. Biafra or Biafra, we are not backing down. We have crossed the Rubicon. We are going home. We must get to that bus stop. If they say we are making mistake, let's make mistake for once. We've been following them like mumu. If you are serving somebody for 60, how many years? If you are serving somebody for 62 years, we have Nigeria. It is time to go home. Yes, it is right. Thank you.
Thank you, Obim. And to all Biafrans, please, if your autopilot country number is not displaying as this broadcast goes on the screen. In case you need to call the people within your location and you don't see your country number displayed here for awareness. And if you have the number, please, you can send it to us so that we can add them. Because my attention was drawn from our brother from Netherlands. So he sent me the number and I've just added it now. It's going to display now. So if your own country number is not displaying here, and it should be here, and you know the number, message us on WhatsApp. You can message Obim, you can message me or any of the media team. Tell them that they should send it to me so that I can add it to the studio. So that when we are live, the numbers will be displaying and you can be able to reach out to people within your own locations and know what is going on. Remember that our ESN is coming up, ESN fundraising is coming up on the 4th of February, 4th of February, 4th of February. That is next Saturday. By this time next Saturday, we will still be here in the studio shouting and singing the joy of Biafra to contribute to ESN. And also remember that this is our reading of Psalms 35, verse 1 to the end, continues till next week, Friday. So this is the psalm you use to pray for Biafra, you pray for Onyendu, you pray for Simon Ekpa, you pray for ESN, you pray for the Biafran army, you pray for Biafrans in Biafra land, you pray for Umuada, pray for the media team, pray for yourself in diaspora and wherever you are. Pray for the destructions of the zoo. We stand with Simon Ekpa. Hashtag no 2023 elections in Biafra land. This flyer should be circulated everywhere for awareness, and we must keep the flag flying very, very high. So, thank you all, Biafrans. Tomorrow is another day. I know tomorrow in your own time now is already another day. And today now in your own time is a new day as well. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching. From us from here, we say
good night.
A very good evening to you and keep up the good fight. There will be our friends.
Thank you.
We appreciate you all.
Fulani have taken over our place. They have settlements. Like for IGBO and other places. They have some settlements. Fulani have taken over our place. Killing children, men, women, destroy all farms, everything that was ever in this life. They have destroyed all of them. Put cassava and rice, yam. Not only that, they will come to the people where people settle and also destroy their houses, collect everything they have, even the money. They will go there, stay the money, take suits, everything in the house. They also go to the bush, even put fires on their rice they cultivated. They will put fire on that fire. They have done a lot of things. But this recent one, they came and occupied in one place called IGBO and Ogbete in Buja Autonomous Community. Start torturing people there, start destroying their houses and everything. When the security people went to ask them what is happening, why are they doing this? They attack them. We don't even know that there are as many as camping that place. We don't know. They attack the security. They have killed many people are in the bush who are looking for many people missing.
We have found about 2-3 cops lying down dead in the bush. No fear can catch anyone. Nobody can even go and vacate the cops. Some are in the hospital. Those that were shot, that have not died immediately in the hospital. You can see men and women every quarter in our hometown now. You can see refugees. You can see in my house. People that run away from finding, crying, finding what they will eat. No food, no money, nothing. Matter have been reported to government several times. Even yesterday night, we have called the soldiers, we have called the police, we have called even the chairman of the local government, reporting this matter to him. They are promising us that soldier is coming. Soldier. Even this morning, I have called them. They say soldier is coming, and police are coming.
But we have not seen any.
I was still waiting for them. The governor knows because the commissioner also informed the chairman of the local government also informed the ADC of the governor. Informed the governor. The governor knows about the kidnapper. Knows everything.
So, in the last 1 year, how many people have been killed in your community?
It's uncountable. In the last few months, I can tell you about 30-something. In short, from New Year to today, we are counting about more than 10 or 20. I'm telling you that as I'm talking to you now, many people are missing inside the bush, uncountable. You can't even remember how many people are there. Because fear has catch everyone. Nobody can even go to the bush to search and know how many is there. It's a massacre, and I don't even know how to put it because they even kill little children. Genocide. It is a daily event in this community. Daily event. You can see the worst one is that even we are talking about farm settlement where they are fighting the bush. But the one that happened in New Year Day is the wife of our brother in Gene Edog. The junior brother to was kidnapped and the daughter in the hometown, in their house, inside the kitchen. So where will we run again? Where will we run into? When the security people are pursuing them, when they saw them try to pursue them to know whether they can rescue those they kidnapped, they shot 3 security men. We don't have any problem with them. The only problem we have is that if you cultivate anything, they'll come and destroy.